Nomadic Sober, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a minute since I posted a video, but if you've been keeping up with the movements, like most of you have, and I definitely appreciate that, you see that I've been posting shorts here and there. But I'm back, I've just been super busy between, my business in the States, school, back and forth to Mexico, Belize, Costa Rica, and the United States, right? Establishing residency and stuff like that, which I have in 2 different countries, right? So I'm back in Costa Rica. Everything's pura vida. But it's the rainy season now, and but some days you really can't tell. But it has been raining, and it's still pretty much 80 degrees in the daytime, right? So my lease is up, and I just wanted to give you guys a tour of of where I lived, right? There's a lot of construction going on, a lot of development in Costa Rica, especially in the Central Valley, and that comes by way of investors, politics, and of course, right, tourism, right? It's a beautiful country, everything green and lush on this side and the Caribbean side as well. Definitely want to shout out the people that in Le Monde, they know how we stay, right? Now, I chose the spot for a few reasons. It was immaculate when I moved in. It's going to be immaculate, that I'm moving out, right? It's 2-bedroom, 2-bath, super crispy. Everything was brand new. And I mean, everything was brand new, right? Very spacious, solid foundation. The floors, super clean. I mean, look at the floors, right? Like I was saying, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, shower, glass, rain head. I don't like shower curtains, right? There are ACs throughout, there's washer, dryer, it does have hot water, of course. With the ACs, it's freezing in here. It's sparsely furnished, another thing I like. So I'm not really into a bunch of furniture and stuff like that. And this came completely furnished, right? It's definitely modern. It's definitely luxury. And the outside space right here, crazy. What goes on out there. We blew it down crazy outside. But it was a really nice space. You get a lot of air, stuff like that. It's shaded. The glass here is actually tinted. There's a bar here. I get some work done there and outside. The kitchen's a gourmet kitchen, full kitchen, you have the brand new washer, brand new dryer, which is, mandatory for me. Most may not, want those type of things. But I do cook, so the kitchen for me was, a plus. And I was sold on the kitchen. I mean, look at the kitchen, right? Marble countertops, right? Look at the floors. There's a little eating area right there. Just one sofa, a table. I kind of moved it back, just to give it a little space. I don't like bumping into stuff and all that. So, again, like I said, it's 2 bathrooms, with the glass, really clean. Everything was brand new. And I wanted 2 bedrooms because, I needed 2 bedrooms. You may not have, some people may not want 2 bedrooms, but this is definitely luxury for me. It's gated. There's armed security outside, which is going to be replaced soon by a camera system. But security duty definitely got it on them. So, that's that, right? There's a couple of doors that I have to go through to get to my door. So it's gated, you got a lot of space between you and the street. And although you see the street there, you really can't hear nothing, right? This is another bedroom with AC, of course, has a remote. Very good lighting. No, these windows don't open. So, you got some luggage there. That wall is all stone. It's like right by where the security is at, right? But look at it. Just really nice, clean space, and very spacious, right? Now, for this, my rent was just a little bit over 1 million colones, right? Which translates or breaks down to about $2,000 USD per month, right? Everything included, right? I never had any problems with the Wi-Fi, none of that. And you may have people that may say, oh my gosh, $2,000, that's crazy. But again, to each his own. And, this is what I like, right? It just has to have certain things for me to be comfortable and do what I do, right? So it's definitely worth it. I didn't have any problems. The maintenance is, on point. The owner was super cool, definitely on point. The lighting, I mean, just look. In a lot of places you don't really get that really good lighting, but the spot had very good lighting. As you can see, that is the water heater right there. That heats the water, so the faucet is on, so it just shows you basically the temperature that it goes up to. The water pressure, everything was good. There was no cracks or crevices, or it was just a really well put together spot, And I loved living here, And again, I mean, you may not think that, it might not have been worth, $2,000. I'm like, oh yeah, I could have got cheaper. I mean, that's probably true, but it's something that I liked, and this is where I lived, and I really, I didn't come here. I'm not vacationing in Costa Rica, right? I do live here. So those are like the key fobs and stuff to get in. And I'm pretty sure that those are going to be replaced with like facial recognition and stuff like that. I was in another spot that had facial recognition as far as security, which is pretty good. But, this was the apartment. Some pretty dope amenities. Not everybody has washer and dryer, outside space. That's it. Very bright, bar. Like, share, subscribe. Stay tuned for the next video.